So it's already recording then.
Okay. Okay, it's a little early, but that's already.
Yeah, you're like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then there is your mute, there's your start video.
Mm-hmm.
And then as other people join in,
Yep.
you should be able to see there's only one participant. So
Right.
we're the only ones in here. So, and then just know your chat is down here.
Yep.
So you're gonna have to, and there is record on here, see?
Oh, I see. Yep.
And then it turns to whoever's talking. So. You're a pro already, Mike.
Then why were they confusing me with, oh, and then you go to your laptop and then you do,
Well, because everybody else uses the laptop.
yeah, I said, I don't have one, I don't own.
Right. You know, like I'll use a laptop because it's easier to see, and I'll get into the meeting from the laptop. It's still a little weird. I would rather, like, the screen would be easier because you could see and then have all your minutes or something, especially when you're somebody like me who's like still so overwhelmed. I'm like trying to find my spot and everything, like, you know, I have no idea what I'm doing quite yet on certain things. Get myself organized.
Alrighty.
Want these now, Mike? You want to see these?
Sure.
These are the. Oh, if you want to bring it up, you know, I can talk about it or whatever you need. If anyone has any questions, what they're doing with it. So the banner I gave to.
Oh, okay, yeah. I understand what you're talking about. Yep. These were all the maps for the hike. ledge
Right,
program.
and because remember, Carmen had all these laminated too. I don't want to lose those. Those are great, you know? So, and then we had our list. And so the banner I gave to Scott.
Right.
Because I said, here's why should I hold on to it? What if I'm not around and somebody needs the banner? So he's like, oh, he goes, well, how much was it? I said, oh, it's $100. He says, oh, we'll just pay you for it. So I said, you know, got to, or we'll split it or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Do you want, they're all for the hike ledge program, all the different maps. Some of the, well, we would set up a booth and information booth and stuff like at farmers market. We can all this.
I was gonna ask if you want to have a booth at my festival.
And Carmen did all those laminates, which was really, really awesome of her to do.
When we get into,
When we get into the
into pub,
meeting,
you know,
well,
informational items. and
yeah,
stuff.
we'll talk about it.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah, she did. She did really
Sir.
Yeah,
Can I ask?
Hi,
so, hi, my name's Earl Lamb.
Okay.
And, kind of been out of the area for a long time, and moved back.
Welcome back.
So this committee and the history committee are very interesting to me, so I'm just seeing what you guys are doing, and maybe eventually I'll help you guys out.
Oh.
Whatever you want, or whatever.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
these are really nice. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And it's funny that you mentioned the historical commission, because my idea was to do a joint table with historical commission and conservation. So, have you seen my event? Are you on Facebook?
No.
Okay. It's fine.
I'm not on Facebook. That's why somebody had to help me with this.
It's fine.
Not computer
No.
illiterate, but I only made it to the 3rd grade.
Is there
So,
like are you the new chairman of this committee or something? It seems like, or are you just filling in for the night or?
No,
Have you
I,
had to do a
no,
website or?
no, what it is we've been meeting via Zoom meeting because of the pandemic,
Okay,
right? Now what's happening is you either need to meet in person or you have to have hybrid,
okay.
okay? Hybrid meeting, and this is the first one that I've
Gotcha.
That's
attended.
hybrid,
So
yeah.
getting it all set up and stuff.
Gotcha.
But no, I've been the chair now for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Last year, I asked somebody else, please do it, and they did. And then they immediately ran for office, which means they had to hand it back to me.
but I planned, we're doing an event for the Regatta Day. for
Okay, yep.
The Harvardale Regatta, and it's on June 11th, and I planned a festival, and it's way bigger than I expected it to be. So
You need help.
no, I'm actually doing really, really well. I have like 22 vendors so far. I have 3 food trucks. I have my permit got approved today, so I'm done with that. It's at Sweet Hill Farm. I'm super excited. I'm super excited.
What's that for?
So the Harvard Yale Regatta, it's a boat race that happens in the Thames River in
Yeah,
Yale
like the
Ferry.
Yale,
Yeah.
you know,
So it happens on June 11th. It's the oldest intercollegiate sporting event in the country.
Mhm.
And so the Economic Development Commission was like, we're going to do an event for this. We're going to do an event for this. It sounds really cool. And then COVID happened. And then finally their boat race is finally happening again. And they're like, we should do an event. And I was like, I'll plan an event. I've never planned one before, but it sounds fun.
Awesome.
And it's very exhausting. I made a whole website for it. I've made a Facebook event. I've like gone all out and I can't wait. I have like 700 people interested on Facebook so far, and I haven't spent a dime on advertising, so I'm pretty proud of that.
No, that's right. Big, How
Yeah,
many schools are gonna be there? Like
just the 2, just Harvard Yale.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'm hoping to bring like, I think out of 22 vendors, I think 12 or 13 of them are ledger-based businesses. So I really sought out like ledger businesses
Right.
to make sure that we have like our stuff and there's not any like duplicates, and we have food trucks and stuff like that. There's a car cruise.
Allberg gonna be down there?
I reached out to them. They haven't replied to me yet. I would
Oh.
really like them to bring their cider. I think that would be really cool.
That's- Yeah.
So, because we will have Mogul Sierra, Paul Mogul's bringing wine, so there will be wine for consumption on the property. Yeah, there's gonna be beer and like craft cocktails and stuff. So
Sounds
we have all the permitting for it, and it's like it's gonna be great. I can't wait. Counting down the days.
You're gonna get a chance to watch the regatta itself.
Oh yeah, it's after the event. So the event's from
Oh,
11 to
okay.
3. The regatta starts at 3:30 or 3:45. So it's kind of, the intention is to keep everyone that goes to the like the regatta itself, like the Harvard and Yale families, instead of them going and spending the day in Mystic and spending all their money in Mystic, they can come see stuff in Ledger and check out what our town has, because we're cool too. So, yeah. And then do a little bit like of information on, you know, tourism in our town, and have some stuff about the sawmill and the Nathan Lester House and some of the trails and whatnot. Because I think we're going to get a lot of people from, you know, Waterford and Groton and stuff that stop by too. So, yeah, sorry. Oh, we have 4 minutes.
We also need 3 people to make this legal.
Oh.
That's
Will
why-
somebody on the Zoom?
There's Roberta.
Yeah, I thought I saw somebody pulling in.
I know I'm an alternate, but I came because someone's always not here, and I'm like, I'll be here.
Right, right. But for the hybrid, you have to have 3 people
Yeah,
present.
and that's why I also
Three
came.
In the actual room and then.
Correct. And everybody else can be linked to it.
Yeah.
As well as the public.
So if you're not, so say you're a member and you're linked in, that doesn't count as being like,
You're there, but you have to, because it's a hybrid meeting, you have to have so many people.
Because it's not fair to you if you came here to like listen in and check out the meeting, and there's one person here and you're just watching a screen. You would have been like, I could have just stayed home.
okay,
So the point is that you get the interaction of a meeting.
okay.
But I bring enough energy for 3 people,
There
so
you go.
I
That should
drank
count.
I drank a whole iced coffee before I came here. Did not need to do that, but
I stopped one time and asked for iced coffee out there when I was in Kansas. And they looked at me like I had 14 heads. They said, we have iced tea. I said, no, iced coffee. This was back in, I think it was 70s.
Oh, gosh.
We were driving cross country, and it was Kansas or
Imagine it's
Eastern Colorado or somewhere. And they just kind of looked at me like, number 1, you have a funny accent from Boston. Number 2,
hi.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good, good.
For now.
okay.
Is this the so-called owl?
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
We're on
Awesome.
now.
Oh, it does have eyes.
Was that 360 view?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
He'll follow whatever.
It's supposed to, well, like a teacher in a classroom, and it'll follow them around.
That's pretty good.
All kinds of.
So how many of us have to be actually here?
3,
Oh,
and we have
made it.
4, so we made it.
Mike, why do they have that rule? That there have to be 3?
Well, the number that has to be there is based upon the number of people within that committee or commission. But why somebody, a certain amount has got to be, I don't know. This whole hybrid thing was developed by the state and the state passed the regulation. So
Okay.
Yeah, the reason behind any of that.
Nor are we the reason why.
Nope.
Gas keeps getting expensive. Nobody will want to be the one to come in.
More than likely.
We'll have to do our straws.
I can use the time away from my kiddo. I love him very much. Sometimes I need a break.
All right, it is 6:45. I'm going to start the meeting. Already, call the order. It's at 6:45 p.m. Let me see. Present is Mike Marelli, Jessica Beal, Dave Holdridge, Roberta Lewandowski. And guests, we have Harold Lamb, Pearl Lamb, excuse me, and Gary Paul. Already. So we have sufficient number of people present to conduct the meeting. Jim has emailed and said he would not be able to make it, as well as Barbara, and Mary McGrattan will not be there this evening. She's a delegate, I think, in Hartford or something this evening. Alrighty. Review and approval of the minutes of regular meeting of April 12th, 2022. Has everybody had the opportunity to read it? Have we found any corrections, changes, mistakes?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. All right. The minutes are approved. Alrighty. Correspondence. What I received as correspondence is from, well, Connecticut Wildlife Magazine. Let me see, sees it. Aqarion Water Company. Every year
I have a subscription.
they hold a contest where they it's the Aqarion Environmental Champions Award. Its winners are an adult nonprofit organization of business categories. Choose opportunity to choose an environmental nonprofit to receive $5,000 grant. Unfortunately, deadline was May 6th. Roberta, I believe we receive it every year late. Do we not?
I think so.
Yes.
We've never been able to
We've
apply.
never been able to apply because it's always come late.
Is it worth it to send them a note and say, doesn't work for us because of when our meeting is?
All right.
I mean, the secretary might be able to send them something. Hey,
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
lukewarm.
Just know early. I'll try to contact them somehow, try to
Yeah, wouldn't hurt.
get that down there.
I was gonna say also, I would be happy to check it out and like check the website and set a reminder in my phone. They might post that information in
want-
early April. So that
Correct.
we know. Yeah,
Do you want to?
I'll
Okay,
take the-
that'd be fine. Because you may be able to get, well, I don't know if you're nonprofit.
no, but I'm saying
Holiday
like
project,
for this, and I'm working on it, but yeah, but for this to kind of know ahead of time, so.
Already joined us? Yep,
Yes, I have.
okay.
Who was online, Mike? Do we have to put their names down as attending too? Yes.
You do?
You mean Betsy?
Already. Betsy Graham, who's also online and attending to.
Does it show for you guys? Do you have like a visual screen?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
So it's just us and Betsy?
Yes, and also the two guests. We get caught up already.
I recognize him.
Recognize that guy?
Alias. So it's you, me, Dave, Roberta, and Barbara. Is it Barbara?
Betsy,
Betsy.
Betsy.
Sorry, Betsy. Sorry, Betsy.
That's okay.
I can't see you. And Jessica. And Jessica. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, got it. And two guests.
their names.
Gary Paul.
Earl now.
EARL,
Yes. ma'am.
Lamb, LAMB.
Yep.
Thank you.
As far as correspondence is concerned, the Tri-Town Trail people wanted me to distribute a brochure to anyone on the Conservation Commission who doesn't already have one.
Okay.
So I'll do that.
I heard you were putting up a gourd collection for what birds we.
Bird.
Yes,
Yeah, what is it called? The Martin bird or something like
yeah,
that?
a gourd house for
Yeah, yeah,
Martins.
it's really good. Looks like it should go into outer space or something.
Let's hope they find it.
Thank you.
Nice brochure.
Yep. Well, I should get caught. Is there any public comments? Comments of the public? None. Alrighty. Informational items. Alrighty. The only informational item that I have is did we send off that blurb to?
Did they, and they
yes,
acknowledged that
they-
they got it. I don't,
Right,
I haven't seen,
it's going to be in, well, next issue, the Legend Events.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, when I haven't seen it out yet.
Right. So,
Hopefully they have room.
so we got that in time, we got that finished up.
Yep.
Also, I believe I contacted Maggie Jones. And, past, and I think everybody got the the email saying that she was more than happy to welcome everybody that wants to go on the walks, and I gave her the contact and everything else like that. But other than that, I don't have any other informational items.
Ike, can
Yes.
I ask Dave a question? I had a meeting with Groton Utilities and we were talking about the Tri-Town Trail. And they said that the way the easements are working, that if the property owners that the trail is crossing sell the property, that we lose that easement. Is that the way that works?
No, the easement goes with the land. They have, two property owners have given the town of Legend an easement for the trail.
Okay,
And way I understand it, that easement goes with the land.
okay,
So if they were to sell, this easement is still there.
okay, good. That's good to know. I'll correct them on that idea. Because that was a little worrisome.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Jessica, you have a presentation?
Do I have a presentation?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
About the the race.
Oh, yeah, duh, sorry. My brain, I'm like, wait, did I have to, was I supposed to prepare
No,
like
no,
a
no, no.
slideshow?
And
I
I-
did not. Okay. So as many of you know, I am planning the Regatta Day Festival for the Harvard Yale Regatta on June 11th. The festival itself is at Sweet Hill Park, Sweet Hill Farm in Gales Ferry for the regatta, which is in the river. But because we're creating such a large event that's going to have a lot of people, both from our town, from surrounding towns, from out of town, I was thinking that it would be really awesome if we had a table with information from Conservation Commission for like Hike Ledyard and things like that. And then also like the Historic Commission with information about the sawmill and the Nathan Lester House, because I think that those kind of things really align with each other and they both have really great properties and things like that. So I won't be able to work at the table because I'm running the event, but it's something that I think would be really awesome and could bring light to some of the great resources that Ledyard has that get forgotten. So we have a lot of really great trails and a lot of really great hikes and great properties, and people don't know that they exist. And I know that that has been a long pain point for everyone in this commission. So it was just an offer. So the event's from 11 to 3 on June 11th.
Which is Saturday, correct?
It is a Saturday. Parking is difficult for that event. I do have specific parking on property for all volunteers and vendors. So if you are volunteering and you're working a table, I have parking for you. But I don't have parking for like everybody. So it's kind of difficult. It's like a weird thing, but I can make it happen so that I don't want it to be difficult for people to do this, to be a vendor or to talk about or things like that.
Where is the gathering point?
Sweet Hill Farm. So do you know where Pop's Ice Cream is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the farm there, that's where the whole event is.
Oh,
So it's rain or shine. If it's raining, it'll be in greenhouses. If it's shining, it will be outside. I'm hoping that we have a really sunny day. There's food trucks and donuts and drinks and things like that. So,
But people who watch the race are not there.
so the event is before the race. So the races
Oh.
start at 3:45 or 3:30, and the event is from 11 to 3. So it's like your I don't want to say pre-game because that's not the right word, but like your
tailgating party.
Yes, it's kind of just your family friendly activity. So they're even so we have a fire truck from Gales Ferry. We have Ledyard Police is bringing a car so that kids can hang out and check out a fire truck and a police car. So we're really trying to reach 1,000 people in town, create an event very similar to the farmers market, but a one-time thing. So that's what makes it a little different.
I think that's a good idea.
So
Like we did at the farmer's market, right? At
Yes.
the table. I have those those coloring things. I have a bunch of crayons and coloring things for kids to come over and color. Only 2 kids did it last time, but I have a whole stack.
Are you doing any like shoveling?
we will have shuttles. Yeah, we have 4 off-site parking locations. 3 of them have shuttles. One of them is Gales Ferry Landing, which is like right there.
Okay, yep.
And then Ocean State Job Lot, Our Lady of Boards, and the Methodist Church in Gales Ferry are all allowing us.
That's pretty
parking as well.
nearby. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
Really.
so you expecting a big crowd?
So I posted the event on Facebook and I have 730 people interested. And the hard part about the demographics is that a majority of the people interested are women between 35 and 44, which doesn't sound like it means much, but it means the woman is replying for the family.
Yeah.
And usually women bring kids. So if you have, like, not to
Wow.
stereotype, but in my head, if I see a woman reply, my husband's not also going to say he's interested. It means we're all going. And I'm like, okay, I don't know.
So will you have a table set? We have to bring our own, what do we have to do?
If you have, I could provide a table. If you have a tent, it would be really helpful.
Oh,
if
those
not,
pop-ups?
Yeah, I will see if I can get one. It's hard because I have a few that I need tents for, and otherwise I have to buy them.
No.
But
I have a pop-up.
if you have a
I
pop-up,
have a
you
pop-up.
can use
I
it.
could,
I have
whose did
tables.
we use at we only need one
farmer's
table.
I got-
Oh, I just, we had, well, Mike had his table,
I have
That was your table?
I have chairs. I got
and
the
then I
sign.
brought the tent the second time, and then
Yeah.
And I
the
have,
first time we used theirs.
We use theirs, yeah.
I can bring the pop. Let me,
Okay.
let me check my calendar.
So I mean, It's just an idea. I think it would be really cool.
I like that idea of us being out and doing things out and where people are.
And I feel like it's similar to the farmer's market because I've done a table with beautification at the farmer's market. You don't have to stay at the table the whole time, you know, take your shifts and I'm gonna go walk around and get an ice cream and get a hot dog or whatever and check things out. And
I have a wedding.
Oh, no.
Did
I'm free and I'm happy to help.
she did.
so she has a pop-up.
She does have.
Well, I have one. I can drop it off to. I'm not gonna be able to go. I have my
Mhm.
nephew's getting married, but I can loan whoever. I can drop it off at whoever's house to use. Pretty easy to.
So is our next meeting prior to this,
Oh, is it?
I don't know. you know.
I don't believe so. Would it?
Wait.
10th?
Yeah. No. No.
No,
Our next meeting's the 14th. Second
The
Tuesday.
Tuesday after it.
Yeah.
Or you could get your tent returned to yet.
Yeah.
That is
I mean, I don't mind dropping it off. I don't know who lives closest. I'll definitely drop it off.
Yeah, you can drop it off. I can grab it. I can grab the table, I grab the chairs. We do have the old sign. We do have some materials here.
And I'll give you
Stuff
my
like
little
that.
bag of color and pictures and
Color.
crayons and.
Yeah.
You can use them. or
Right,
not use
now
them.
we just need volunteers to staff it.
Oh, to do.
I'm happy.
Okay, and then there's myself.
Okay.
So there's at least two of us.
So do we still have, we also had brochures about the trails and some maps, right?
You
Gary
need to
brought,
come and give your.
'Cause he had 'em.
spiel.
Gary had him and he brought him with us.
You can't do it without Gary.
I know,
And
yeah,
you
come on.
can Put some of these on the table. You can
Yeah.
put some of these
yeah,
on
try
the
to get
table.
some of those.
Might have my new grandson by then too.
Oh.
You get to call you grandpa?
Yeah, well, I got the one, now I got the new one coming. I'm feeling old.
So I think it's a good idea. I
Maybe
think
James will want hardwood.
He
likes
probably
to do
will,
that.
right. He's not here today, he's up
Yeah.
in New Hampshire or
Yeah.
wherever. But yes,
And like I said, because I'm also asking Historic Commission to work
Right.
under the same thing, so they may be able to provide the tent as well or something. I'll let you
If you
know.
guys need that tent, just let me know.
Yeah.
I can-
So if you end up
So
at a
it's
point where
by
it's
rabbit.
just,
yeah.
Two of
Yeah,
you.
you leave it out like,
Oh.
that metal pole I had you saw
Yeah.
for me and stuff like that. You leave, I just go pick it up.
Give me an idea when you want
Yeah.
to swing by and I'll just leave it by the garage and just grab it.
Yeah, okay.
because then if you do end up having, not a lot of volunteers, if there's other people there as well, if you just have your stuff out, as long as, I don't think anyone's gonna be like, yeah, take those laminated posters. So,
No.
I'll be there part of the time.
You can be there part of the time. I'll be
Perfect.
there for a good chunk of the time.
Mhm.
Like I say, Jim, I might be there.
Yeah.
Betsy said she'd be there.
Mhm.
And also, we can also contact the rest of the members of the commission, try to dig up some more. So like that, but I think I'd like to see us do it.
I'm sorry, I have a wedding. I would love to, I would go.
It'd be summer to the one we did this
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
That's all.
just, and I apologize because I am really new to this commission. Is there a website for the Hike Ledger program, or is
Yes,
that
there
just
is.
part of the Ledger?
No, there is a website for it.
Okay, cool.
There's a
It's Facebook page.
Yeah.
Not really a
Facebook page,
website, it's a Facebook page.
Cool.
right.
I will also share that on the regatta event and put it on the regatta website to make sure that it explains like that you guys are gonna be there and that
And
people
the
can get more
event, the
information.
banner for High Ledger is at the Parks. and Rec.
Fox, I wrote that down there.
Okay.
I'll get a hold of them too. Swing by and pick it up.
Mike, do they have more brochures that the town has published that the Hike Ledger program or the Parks and Rec that we
Parks
could
and Rec.
have?
Parks and Rec would have them, yeah.
Yeah, so that might be a good thing to get a bunch of those because I imagine a bunch of people would pick those up.
It'll smell that better. I won't be able to recognize it later.
Do they still have stickers, Mike, do you think?
We'll find out. I'll find out. I'll get a hold of them, swing by them and everything else like that. Let them know what's going on. But yeah, we have the stickers.
Yeah,
If you signed up and the sign up sheet and stuff like that. He'll have sign up sheets there also. Parks and Rec. Okay.
Have to show the patches.
Put one
Yeah,
on a
just-
hat.
and they'll have it, because I gave back the
Right.
bag, so just ask them for the patches and everything. Yeah, they have tons of them.
Yeah.
You know, just grab a handful of them.
Is it the Regatta Day Festival? Is that what you're calling it?
If you go to the, it's co-hosted by Parks and Recreation and also the Economic Development Commission. So if you go to either one of their Facebook pages and click events, it'll show up under there.
So Parks and Rec will know.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, they're providing a
Yeah.
lot of stuff for it, so.
They'll be expecting me.
That should be able to stop by and I'll give a speech or two if you want.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, what was?
We'll have
that?
a
Yeah,
designated
with the
time for it.
sticker, that's what it was.
It was the,
Getting them to sign up with the.
yeah. And then.
Now that you're a politician.
Hey, you know what? They signed up.
They
didn't
did, they I'll drop because I go by Parks and Rec, I'll drop off a bag of stuff, and then when you go to get the stickers or whatever from Parks and Rec.
Okay.
I'll put your name on it and. you can
Okay.
have them then.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, that's gonna be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Wish we could do everything here this quickly. No more informational, any more informational items? No? Alrighty, let's move on to old business, property walks. Anybody do any?
Right now.
No.
Wait, I went somewhere, but I can't remember where.
I
Or
walked-
when.
I walked in my
The library
backyard.
Got rained out.
Yeah. Alrighty, open spaces management plan. Oh, excuse me, no, the open spaces acquisition plan. I
What about
sent,
Whitehall? Skipping that one? Or is this?
what I did, oh, the Whitehall
Property walks?
assessment, okay. Now, what it was, my thing got printed
Oh,
and I had to write things
yeah,
down.
mine got.
Some weird, yeah, and
Mm.
so, okay, you're correct. Okay, the Whitehall assessment.
Mhm.
I think we all know that Maggie Jones is doing it,
Yep.
and she started it, and will be willing to take anybody that wants to go for walks with her and stuff like that. And as far as, we'll have to wait for a report, because it'll be, 9 to 10, 12 months before we get the report.
Probably a year.
Year, yeah,
I have a question. Is Whitehall hyphenated like that with a
hyphenated, yes, it is.
WH?
Yep.
And is it Whitehall? What's the Whitehall property?
Whitehall Park.
Park?
Yeah.
It's all over the place when you look on different sites. It's
Mhm.
like-
And the Whitehall is because it was two families.
Yeah, I finally
Right.
figured that out. I finally figured that out. Okay, cool.
Alrighty, so then number 3, the open spaces acquisition plan. I tried to abbreviate it, and basically, rather than reinventing the wheel, what I did is just showed the background is what we're basing it on and how we would go about doing it, rather than me writing out the whole thing, which was basically the plan of development, conservation and development. Basically, I just reproduced the whole thing again, which is, it's not necessary to do it the second time. So that's what I did with that one there. Everybody have an opportunity to take a look at it. Any suggestions?
I did look at it. It seemed shorter, I guess, because you were
You took
the.
out a bunch of stuff that was repetitive, right? Is that
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's all in
in
the POCD,
the?
town's POCD.
Right.
So they figured it was superfluous to write it again. I
Right,
just
right.
left a few things into it.
Okay.
Okay,
I was gonna ask what you took out because it seemed so much shorter.
yeah, yeah.
Mike, maybe just so that, like David said, he thought it was missing something. You could say to refer back to the POCD and for additional information, look here, because this is what it's based on. And that way, anybody looking for more information or more detail, let's say,
Mhm.
if they went back to the original, it might fill in blanks and not leave people wondering why it might miss something. I don't think it's missing anything if you realize where it came from,
Right.
you know.
Right. Now, those our objectives will be based upon something,
Exactly.
put something in there to that effect,
Yeah,
to make it a little clearer. Okay, okay.
Mike, is it possible to put a link to where that POC is on the website so people can find it more easily?
It's on the town's website.
Okay,
Okay, well, let me see, I'll investigate it, see if I can figure it out. And see if there's a direct link.
at the bottom, maybe somehow you could put link
Yes.
to or something like
Right.
that, and it would take you right to it.
Well, the thing about it is if you sit there and you plug in, right, legend POCD, it'll have a link there, right there on the screen. So I can just lift that and put it in
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Hello, I'm sorry. Did you get my message, Mike, about,
Yes, yes, I did.
okay, I just walked through the door, so I'm sorry. I know I was the one that wanted to be there in person, but life happens.
That's all right. There's no worries.
Barbara?
No worries. Yes, that's Barbara. Yeah,
What time is it?
okay.
Start my video. Oh, here I am.
So
Sorry.
what I'll do is I'll change that around and again, we'll take another look at it next month and
Okay.
we'll go from there.
Are you the only one there?
No.
Oh, good.
As we speak, you'll see us. You'll
Okay.
see us. All righty, okay. The open spaces management plan. Basically, what I did is I did Glacier Park.
Yeah.
And what I did is I showed you the template that I used, which is basically, I believe, what Avalonia uses. And then I kind of lifted some of the stuff to there to put it to ours. It is a little bit brief because there's not really a lot to do up there. I mean, it's other than a little housekeeping, it's pretty nice. If some of our other properties, there'd be like short-term plan, the long-term plan, because we have invasives and stuff like that. And perhaps like even Burton, one of our long-term plans is to link the Burton Trail with the other trails to the south. As we've been, so that'd be like other examples, but basically I just wanted to put it out so people see how we're beginning to approach it and what you thought of approaching it in that way.
So if in the future, Tri-Town Trail continued on its way, that might come down around through that area, mightn't it? When you look at where it could connect.
Yes, to the Glacier Park. We would hope that there could be connections
A
there.
connection.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the other thing that would ever be on the change to that glacier plan was if we connected to something else, and you could say it's part of the larger trail, including, or something like that, in the future, not now till it occurred.
Okay, and wasn't there a time they were trying to get that designated as some kind of,
Greenway,
no, something else. It was some, not historical, but a geographical
because of how it was
created or something.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be some designation they were trying to get
Right.
for it.
No,
Okay, I can see.
So that's
put that-
potential.
Yes,
So
okay,
we should
Yeah.
put that in there, right? Yeah. I
Yes.
think so.
yep,
There's no way you can connect that to the kettle.
again, it's a possibility.
I always just,
They should be connected.
I mean, that's my backyard, my side yard, my backyard, and I always say to myself, why are these two trails just separate?
Separate.
It should be.
You offering an easement?
I'll go talk to Mike, and he's behind me. But, yeah, I just, it'd be interesting to,
Geologically, that would be a great connection.
oh, absolutely, that's why I said that. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
it's, you got the boulder train and then you got the kettle hole.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So any property owner who gives an easement like that for a trail can get a property tax break.
Correct.
Right, well, I think it's the, I know the family that owns where the chimney with the old cottage was. Then there's, I don't know how far back that was, I have to look. Then I know Mike owns. Out there, I have to see.
What's behind that fence that says, the
Well,
defense?
Yeah, it's just, property, or just abut some property, I gotta find who owns it though. Cause there's houses right on Wellhead that come back, but then it's You know, so like, if you're at the Blagos, which is behind me, I think his property goes, you know, kind of abuts that. And then I think the Smuckers, they own the land that's next door to me. And that land goes all the way back. And I don't think there's anything back there. It looks like there's some water back there too. I don't know how big is the water. A little pond or something back there.
Not just wetlands, but really a pond.
I think so. I'd have to read.
Would that be a
And then there's-
long-
I think there's another piece of property though. I don't know if there's another piece of property in the way. But
Would that be a long-term goal or a possible goal in the plan?
Yeah.
Some,
Yeah, this is why I'm asking. I
Yeah,
put this out,
get the
the
ideas.
general
Yeah.
ideas, so everybody can look at, kind of get some ideas, feed them back to me, but you're absolutely right about correcting them. And I remember reading somewhere there's supposed to get some kind of special designation for it.
Maybe it's in that book about.
I think
glacier.
so, it's like US Geological
Right.
Preserve Space, which we all know that we can get special designation means you can apply for grants to maintain.
Mhm.
So, all right, I'll start looking at that. I have to incorporate that into the plan too.
I like the little geology lesson there. That was good.
So we like the plan, we like the Glacier Park
Mhm.
thing that you did. And of course, it is part of our open space plan is this interconnectedness. And that's something that we could continue to stress. That we want to have interconnectedness between the various open space parcels and parks.
Okay,
And,
Okay. okay.
Even looking at property as it comes up, how many places did he just mention that if any piece of that came up, there's a potential to
Mhm.
add a little spot to the trail, you know, the connectedness.
Mhm.
You don't want to sell your house.
well, mine's not in the way. Mine's not the problem.
Just give us an easement.
Yeah, that's right.
At some
Okay.
point, we might be more proactive about seeking out these places where we can interconnect.
Right.
And so we approach you or approach your neighbor or something. So,
Right, but you're looking for an easement. Is really
Yeah.
what you're-
yeah, but that's an interconnectedness thing.
right.
And we have something to bargain with you for, which is a property tax break.
Right.
Yeah, I think you'd have to draw out, like, kind of go and then just pay attention and draw out where you would want to be and then just go on the GIS and be like, this person and this person and this person.
Right.
And that's it, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I can't picture it in my head, like where the trail would go. So it's not helpful to be like this person, because
It doesn't mean anything.
and just because I go to them doesn't mean I actually want an easement on their property. And then they're like, yes, but no one ever goes there. So then it's awkward.
It's
So,
got to make sense that the trail could go through there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or maybe a loop,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't have to take you totally connected to a trail, but you can have side loops that go to an interesting place or something different, you know. just-
So maybe part of the plan is to continue research on budding property owners and possible expansion or easements or something?
Mhm.
Connection of the two, make it a
Oh,
whole.
connect, yeah,
Connect the two
yeah.
and make it as
Yeah.
a whole,
Let's make that its own little section.
a whole little
Can I
site.
make comments to your
Sure.
conversation or?
No, you can.
So in Maine, for instance, have a system of trails. And they have the, say, the state-owned main trails. But then the local areas will come together and have like informal clubs. And the clubs are the landowners and stuff. And they do a David stuff, like, here's the main trail, but I'm gonna take on, me and my 4 neighbors are gonna make these little loops that can hook and come back around. So if you haven't already thought of this, which you might have already, is like all your little parks and things and your tri-state thing, if that ever gets connected, is like foster local landowners to be like a ledger conservation type club that's interested in doing things like this. Like, for instance, like we own property to the south of the town. And not where we want like a full tax break or anything, but we might be open to connecting like the Blue Trail up to the other side of the Rams
Yeah,
as a temporary thing. And if it works out and it's not abused, that's something like the local Ledger Club could do, in groups like.
yeah,
this,
you could
like-
connect to the Avery Preserve.
Yeah, exactly. That's right, yeah.
Hmm.
So anyway, that's just a comment.
I think they do that really well there because they do so much with snowmobile trails,
And
which
that's,
go over people's
and
property.
that's what I'm basing it
Yeah,
on. And it's,
and that, they do
goes
the
all
same
over the
thing.
state.
Yep,
I can go all the way to Canada on either the state trails or local club trails.
yep. And then they maintain them.
Yeah, exactly. We have a
club-
place up
the
there
clubs
and we
Yes.
maintain all the local trails.
Yep.
Because it's just a group of neighbors and we're just expanding our part. But the side benefit up there, someone owns a store or a gas station, we'll link a little trail down to them and all the people on the trail will go down.
Go get a
like,
cup of
buy for
coffee.
store or get a coffee. That's all.
Yeah,
Like if there was just for instance, there's a trail going behind Hovages. There might be a little side path that goes up to Zest,
Yep.
like a
Yeah.
bike trail that, bike people might want to get coffee and stuff. So
Actually,
anyway,
that's what the
let's-
bike trail does in Cape Cod, the Cape Cod bike trail that goes
Mhm.
right through the middle.
Then like.
I think they need to take a vacation to go check this out.
Like if the Tri-State Trail and the Averys open the horses, I might say, oh, I'll open up part of our property where I can connect my horse barn over to the horses.
Mystic Hunt Club, right?
Oh, yes, I'm in favor of that.
I'm just throwing ideas out. of-
There's lots of
Okay.
possibilities here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a good idea to get
But I also
neighbors
see
to,
that's what makes interconnecting trails so important because it opens up a whole new world.
lots of other pieces.
Oh, absolutely.
That was our concept with the Tri-Town Trail, that there could be a main trail, north-south.
Yeah.
And there could be spurs off of it.
Yeah.
And people could interconnect all around.
Exactly.
But I think it's worth, keeping that enthusiasm up and making sure that you're keeping that in the public eye because people, kind of like to your point, could look at that and say, geez, we're right by that trail. I wonder if there would be any interest, or anything like that. People may contact you. Especially if you're, explaining what some of your goals are.
Yeah.
so go back and rework these things some more.
Mm.
Till we find a finished product.
There, looks good.
Item number 5, financial report. Has everybody looked at it, saw it, or do I have to enumerate the figures?
My printer printed out the same thing.
It's the same.
What?
It is the
It's the
same as
same,
last month.
Same as
so
last month, yes.
Until we get your new piece of equipment, I don't see it changing
Oh, it's
much.
still not, hasn't come in?
I called them last week.
So our, it's 22,739, is that what it is?
Yeah, whatever she sent. she-
Yeah. The conservation is 2975.
Wait a minute,
It's on the, yeah.
yeah, which
Yeah.
one?
There should be 3 numbers. One is Whitehall, which is separate.
Year to date. Oh, this one.
That one have Whitehall on it. One says Whitehall.
No, I think one says just GL or something.
Oh, good.
It's the
General
large,
fund.
yeah, it's the large figure.
2022 or 24,
Yeah, so
right?
that one's Whitehall.
Where's it at?
It says Whitehall Park Trust.
So Whitehall is 22,739?
That's a trust. Yeah.
Okay, and then this one is, I mean, for purpose of the minutes, what do I write down? That Whitehall is 22,
Right?
whatever that number is, and
One is the operating budget.
Conservation Commission, operating new equipment miscellaneous.
Yep.
Okay, that's 2,975.
Mhm.
That's not bad.
And one is a trail number, trail maintenance.
Oh, this is my thing, didn't. capital and non-recurring.
Yeah, trail maintenance.
Eagle eyes. Okay.
But now that you've seen where it is, you'll know where it is.
And so what are these, what are these, just extra? Just continuations or something?
And end of report.
The writing's too small.
Get that
I need,
yellow
I need stronger glasses.
highlighter.
Or hold it further away and I'll be able to see it.
Yeah, actually, these are copy.
Okay.
They're not.
Very good.
I think you printed Burke.
Yeah, it had a. I probably have like 5 copies of it back home when I get home. Okay, got it. Thank you.
And before you print off for next month, you could just look, and if it's the same.
Yeah, I won't print
Just
it.
change the
Yeah.
date.
Right.
Yep.
Power equipment. I contacted them. We are still waiting. They don't know what the holdup is. They don't know if it's one piece of equipment. They just can't get it.
Gosh.
They just. They're still waiting, supply chain. They just say they're still waiting for it. Because I asked them, I said, you didn't send it up to Public Works by accident, did you now? And they said, no, we'll let you know when it comes in. I said, okay.
You wonder how much business they're losing if they can't supply what people order. You know,
I know a friend of mine over Wilcox Park in Westerly. They've ordered, metal edging to edge their garden beds
Mhm.
1 year. It took them to get it.
Really?
So they're not doing it this year. Project will do next year
right?
because they just arrived and in the barn now.
What's the piece of equipment we're waiting for? What's it called?
Well, it's just the power equipment.
Oh,
Just right down, the power
I
equipment.
thought it had some name. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Tri-Town Trail Greenway, any new?
Well, have you heard about the event that they're going to have down in Groton, celebrating the Greenway? Anyway, what it is that on June 3rd, on Saturday, the week before your event,
I think it's the 4th.
June 3rd.
Is June 3rd a Saturday? Yeah, June 4th is a
June
Saturday.
4th is a Saturday. They might have it on the 3rd, I don't know.
well, okay, I'll try to verify that, that's which day it is, but anyway, they're having the Connecticut Greenway Council is actually having their meeting in Groton. And they're going to celebrate the new greenways that they've already approved. One of them is the Tri-Town Trail Greenway, and one is the East-West Greenway in Groton. And so they're going to be meeting down there at the intersection of those two greenways, which is the parklet that's,
Aquatic Bridge Park.
Quantic Bridge Park, which is just as you enter Bluff Point.
Yep.
Just before you go under the.
Oh, Quantic Bridge
Not
Park,
just in the
Not
rail
Quantic.
bridge.
under the,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Just before you go into the railroad
Yeah, I
bridge.
know, yeah.
The one that
There's
floats.
a park there with children's things on it.
Yep.
It's such a cute park. My son used to love it.
Yeah, and so that's where it's going to be held, right there. At 10 o'clock in the morning, but now I'm questioning which day it is.
The 3rd.
If it's a meeting-
I thought it was on a Saturday, but
if it's a meeting, maybe it is on a Friday.
It's Friday, the 3rd.
Friday the
Okay.
3rd,
Friday the
okay,
3rd, Okay.
okay, well then we know,
Okay.
Friday the 3rd. And public is invited. I think they're sending out invitations, you're probably gonna get one.
Is it invitation only or just,
No,
Anyway.
No.
no, it's open to
It's
the
a public
public.
meeting, right? I mean, they're
It's a
public.
public meeting.
Yeah,
If it's there, yeah.
When they did it at Leicester House.
My
Anybody
last
could
house,
go.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
My
same, same
my
kind
wife
of
came.
thing.
Right.
Then are they taking a hike or something? Are they walking part of it? or
No,
Just to have a ceremony there or
just
whatever?
a
Meeting?
commemoration of the
Mhm.
greenways. And so all the political people will be there. Probably Gary will be there.
Oh, yeah.
You might get an invitation.
Okay.
And so that's going on. We are kind of
Yeah,
central.
it's
to it
definitely the
because
3rd, Friday, the 3rd.
Okay. because we're the ones who nominated
Right.
Yeah,
the Tri-Town Trail Greenway.
we should try to go. yeah.
Now, with that designation, don't they get state priority and grants and?
Exactly.
Yes,
It's
So
helpful.
there's an advantage of being a state designated greenway. And you can apply for trail construction grants. And they're more likely to get the grant if you're in a greenway.
Get points. Like,
Yeah.
you get more points for
Yeah.
when you write a grant,
Yeah,
when you're a greenway.
so that's my announcement anyway.
all righty, good, good.
So nice.
My name was on the application, so I guess I better show up. Okay, June 3rd. All
That's
righty.
success, right? How long
Yes.
have you been working on it?
Yeah,
Several months, yeah.
we should put that in the next newsletter.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
We should have put it in one.
All right, the next subject was the Tri-Town Trail mowing. That is actually the property. It was at 1025
Oh, yeah.
Colonel Legend Highway. Guess Naomi was supposed to be looking into that. She never got back to me. I thought she might be at the meeting, tonight, so I don't know whether they've come to any decision or how it's gonna be taken care of. Would you,
Well, I
Gary?
mean, we talked a little bit
Yeah.
about it, land use, I mean, it's. As far as I know, I mean, we wouldn't, I don't think there would be any issue if somebody wanted to go in there.
Hmm.
I mean, as far as anything else, I don't think there hasn't been any other talk, but that's really the only thing I really know about it was, well, it's there and.
The issue has to do with the field that's there.
Right,
Field, yeah.
right,
The trail already goes kind of along the side of it.
right, I mean,
But the question was raised, there's a good agricultural field there. And nobody's used it for 2 years now. It's growing up to brush. Shouldn't it be mowed? We were saying, the people in the Tri-Town Trail
right,
Committee were
and
saying,
again, we brought that up and there's nothing that I know that. I mean, it's under a council, it's not
Right.
under Parks and Rec, it's not
No.
under, anything like that, you know what I mean? If somebody came up and said, hey, can we mow this, we would say, sure. I don't see, I don't think there'd be any reason. But
So who would know?
Is that all it takes? Just, okay, it's okay, go ahead and mow it, or?
sure, I mean, as long as, with permission, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. I don't think that the council would have any problem with that.
yeah,
I don't believe they would. I mean, I would let them
Yeah,
know
I mean,
and
I-
ask beforehand,
Yeah.
but from what I've seen over the years in regards to that property, I think they would would be fine with it. I don't think they'd mind.
Do you need
Yeah.
special equipment to mow it?
You probably.
Oh, yeah,
tractor on a,
Yeah,
you need
Oh,
a
yeah.
tractor.
yeah.
tractor and a brush hog. But it's
Yeah.
already too late, I think, for this season to start it now. We probably have to wait
Too
until late in the fall.
Right, so like I said, I mean, there would be no issue.
Yeah.
I would say after talking land use and Kevin, Chairman Dabrowski about it. we got time to mow it.
Be done in the fall now.
so do you think that a letter stating we would like to plan on mowing it in the fall would be appropriate? So that you get a response and say, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? That
yeah.
you
Or
don't-
was the bigger question, does it come underneath the Conservation Commission to take over that? I mean, is the town
No,
council
it would-
really the
it
right
wouldn't-
people to?
There's, it would stay with the council, but like I said, I think that would be perfectly fine. And then it would just, we could add it to the, agenda at the next land use meeting and talk about it. And pretty much go from there.
But do we want to do that? Do we want to take that on? No,
Now, you-
no, right. I mean, I don't.
No, it's not under
Right.
our
So
jurisdiction.
who is it? The Tri-Town
No,
people?
no.
Oh,
No,
the
no,
town.
no,
It's under
The town, the town.
council.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sound,
Town council has jurisdiction over
Right.
that because they want to keep it in case they need space for a municipal facility or something in the future.
In the future.
Okay,
Can we write a letter to the council and request that they, in the fall, that they mow it down or whatever it's called? Or is
Or that we
that
come to
not-
some sort of understanding with them about who's gonna be in charge of maintaining
not
that
even-
property?
Is it not even our?
Yeah, but it's just a simple, hey, can we mow the property? Sure.
So who pays the mower then?
exactly.
Right, that's the,
Right.
That's the crux of the
Who's gonna do
question.
it? Who's gonna pay?
correct.
They'll give you permission to do it, but then
And
who
I'm gonna
pays
pay
the
for it.
mower of the,
Who asked for that anyways? I'm just curious. Like who asked to like
One of our,
brush all it down?
one of our
But
members.
it came originally from the Tri-Town Trail Committee,
Okay.
but then it came to here, to the Conservation Commission, saying,
So it sounds like you put it on your agenda and then it word back to Tri-Town, they're probably gonna volunteer to mow it down.
it's possible, yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's not us.
No,
well, in a way, I mean, we do want Tri-Town Trail to be able to maintain that property.
Yeah.
Because it's Ledyard, in town of Ledyard, but just to show support.
Support them.
Yeah, that we would back up, yes, it should be mowed.
Yeah.
Isn't that a,
Mowing the field is not required to maintain that trail. Okay, already, you would want to mow that and keep it mowed because
to
you
keep
might,
it a field?
to keep it a field that it can be used in the future for agricultural. All right, so this thing falls under, doesn't fall under, but it may be of concern to the agricultural commission, because they would like to see more thing. It also falls under, you know, perhaps the interest of the economic development that could attract a
Use
business
of
like
that
a
property.
farmer to lease those fields. You see what I mean? So there's a lot of different,
So if all those different
Angles.
pieces
right,
agreed that they felt it should be mowed, and then they approached the town council, that might carry more weight to have somebody mow the field. Agricultural Commission, Conservation Commission.
Sounds like an email. to you. Can you put it on the agenda?
Well, but still, I mean, like I said, it's, you know, we have the property and that's, you know, but as far as paying to go have somebody go mow it, you know, I just don't see,
they're not gonna do it.
don't see that, you know, I mean.
But I bet you 10-1, if you track down the Tri-Town people that wanted it mowed, get that name, and then someone sends you
Right,
an email, says, hey, guess what? Tri-Town guy.
Well, we'll put it on
wants
there,
to
you
do
know,
it."
anyway. and talk
And he
about it.
gives it, and then you get back to that Tri-Town guy and they go up there and do it.
I think it was brought to us because they were thinking we might do it, right?
Correct. They thought we were responsible for the parcel.
All right,
Well, the more commissions it gets talked about in, the more likely you are to find a volunteer.
Absolutely.
If you don't spread the
There's
word,
nothing wrong with bringing it up, talking about it and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you too. I mean, it's, you know, there's invasives in there and it's great soil, so.
and it might be somebody in Agricultural Commission who has the wherewithal. Well, somebody must have a tractor or
Yeah.
with a,
Right.
that's where you're likely to get.
The ideal situation was have somebody,
well, there are several of us on the Tri-Town Trail Commission that have tractors with brush hogs on them. So
So it's possible, we can go back to the Tri-Town Trail people and say, Gary Paul said we have permission to mow it. So,
Put it in the minutes.
hey, let's go do it.
No,
Ask forgiveness, not permission.
so it's not to the.
all
Glad
right,
you're here, Gary.
among the Tri-Town Trail. See if there's somebody that is willing to do it or can do it, or, and again, like I say, it may be too late this year. All righty.
For the spring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too late for the spring, the birds are already in there, everything else like that, just like Whitehall is too late now. Right, now, given up, that'll be done in the fall. Yes, see if you can get it lined up, see if we can get some volunteers, get to see some people who would do it. Find out and then go to land use or go to the town and tell them, look, we've got this person, we're willing to do it. Da. Would you let us?
Yeah.
And you could do that right at town council meeting at when they have the comments.
Yep.
Before the meeting and just ask them to say, you know, this is what we got it set up, et cetera. And this is what we'd like to do. We have permission. And then, you know, give them the reasons, you know, just keep it from returning back to brush, to keep it viable for possible future agricultural use, et cetera, et cetera.
My battery died. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Been a long day.
Alrighty. Is there any other old business to come before the commission? Nothing old, nothing we want to rehash? Alrighty,
Oh, yeah.
there is.
No, I don't want to rehash anything, but before I got here, I assume you called the meeting to order, and
Yes,
what else did I miss?
that would be 6.
Minutes approved,
Oh, the
to
minutes.
approve, yes.
and it was Dave and Mike.
That,
And no
motion.
corrections? No.
no corrections, no, anything, correct. Yes.
Good, thank you.
And it did start at 6:45.
It did?
Don't have any new business.
I have something that maybe should be put on the agenda for another meeting or something,
Okay,
which is the open space fund. There is a town open space fund. And that is continues to be built up because of part of the real estate conveyance tax goes into that fund. There is very little direction as to, or description as to how that fund should be used. I think we had originally imagined that it would be saved to purchase open space. That may come up for, you know, like we would want to recommend a connecting place maybe to purchase. But I've heard talk about using it for other things like maintaining open space or
I don't think you can you? You can't use it to maintain, it's only for the purchase.
yeah, that's what I would have thought.
The way I kind of thought that, which, right, that would be, I
Yeah,
don't think you could use it for any type of maintenance.
yeah, but I think maybe it should be spelled out in the ordinance or wherever it is.
Yeah. How it was established.
mhm.
I think it's a
Isn't it a
state thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's town by town. I
Yeah.
think it's a
That's right.
state thing.
Have to look at that.
Well, okay.
We
well,
talked about that like,
I'll-
almost like I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, I thought, did we?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
it's-
remember looking at that, and that's how I think that was brought up before, and I thought it was determined that you couldn't, you know, it was, that's what that fund's for, is to acquire open space.
Because they were trying to generate, what, 21% of the state should be open space.
Mhm.
yeah,
And that money was to help towns
Right,
do that,
yeah.
is what I think when we read about it.
Yeah, it's to acquire land.
That's the question associated with that. I see in Ledger, Groton Town Open Space on Ledger property. So can another town purchase Ledger Town and create a open space that they control in a way?
Is it the reservoir?
No, I guess it's the Avery property.
Yeah, they,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's
well-
because a larger percentage of it was in Groton, if I'm not mistaken.
So the Avery property was partly in Groton, partly in Ledger.
Hmm.
But was it Avalonia who bought that?
no, it's Groton Open Space.
Groton, no?
Groton.
Gosha,
Open
it's
Gosha,
Gosha.
yeah.
I see Groton Open Space all over Ledger property.
Just in that part. Yeah.
because
Right,
Groton
'cause they-
Open Spaces Association is a non-profit, private. Just like
Yeah.
Avalonia is private, non-profit.
So it's not owned by the
It's
town of
not owned
Groton.
by the town or
That's
anything.
why it's-
Private entities buying up land under the state open space rules.
Yeah,
And they get to control what they do and not do with that property. Apparently.
apparently.
And then it goes on opens. All these are questions. I can find out that. Once a piece of property goes open space, it probably takes away from the tax base of the town. And we don't, the town doesn't even get to decide how to use like your land anymore.
Well, it was private property to
Yeah.
begin with.
So it's just, goes back to the point, if you guys got an open space fund, as a Ledyard resident, I would prefer our Ledyard fund start buying some of these open spaces and making it Ledyard controlled, so we can decide what we do on our open space.
So-
As best we could.
As a thought to that, and this is my personal feelings towards Avalonia. I think that Avalonia is doing awesome things and becoming a land trust and just creating tons of open space that is awesome to know that it's in a trust. We don't have the funds to buy the properties that they do. And they buy these massive properties. And it's so nice to look at, you know, like my mom's talking about moving to Ledyard, and I'm like, hey, that's a land trust behind your house. You're not gonna have houses behind you. And that's a huge selling point. But the hard thing is that with a lot of properties with Avalonia and with a lot of properties that we have, for example, Whitehall with the invasives, I'm very passionate about invasive plants. And the invasives are rampant on Avalonia properties and on town properties. And if we can't use this funding to maintain those properties, continuing to purchase more and more and more of them, and then asking the same 12 volunteers to maintain
Yeah.
75 properties in the town is not going to work. And I would rather Avalonia, a nonprofit, with money to pay someone for maintenance when we don't have that money. Because when we have that money, it's taxpayer money. When they have that money, it's donor money. And that could be big donor in Massachusetts that was like, I like this project, here's $500,000. Nobody's doing that for us.
Yeah.
So that's my only,
No,
like,
that's a really good point. I
Yeah.
didn't know there
and
was
you
the
can
same thing,
hike a
so-
lot of Avalonia properties.
Yeah, you
They do put hikes on there. They're not our conservation hikes, but you can definitely access those properties. But we don't have to maintain them, which makes it a little bit easier. Cause like Whitehall is a huge project. We spent hours there a couple months ago and we barely made a dent. So there's so much to do, and every other project is the same way. So
But to that point, boy, I'll tell you, to be able to interconnect and use and find ways to acquire those.
Oh, yeah.
connections.
no, and it's absolutely worth it for us to keep
Because
purchasing
that,
plants.
right, because that is, then the sole purpose of that is to create
Yeah.
a maintained hiking. You know,
And to create greenways.
Right.
Yeah, and I love, like, I agree, and I think that we need to find a way to use those funds in our town to create more open spaces for our residents, but not at the expense of buying land that Avalonia already owns.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you
yeah,
make a
or
great
the ground.
point. And
Yeah.
then all you guys, like the big tri-town way,
Mhm.
if you can help them out by like having the open, use your funds, like buy the property.
For the connecting
The
pieces.
connectors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something you should think about.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, sorry for interrupting.
Well, that's
No,
what you have been preaching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We have to have properties on our, kind of on our wish list,
Mm.
so that we can connect properties we already own,
Awesome.
or Avalonia,
Mhm.
or,
Groton Open Space.
Yeah, but we're not
Gosha.
gonna buy a property from Avalonia
No, no, no,
just
no.
so we can maintain it, or from Gosha.
So we can't launch.
Yeah, so we can let the bittersweet go crazy. So,
It's more as connecting properties
Yeah.
that we were gonna look.
Yeah.
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 The other thing too about it is the conservation trusts.
Mhm.
That's a trust. It's there, period, forever.
Mhm.
Right? Town property, if it's open space, town down the road someday might decide to sell it, and they can.
Town isn't always the best.
It's not preserved.
yeah,
So,
With given property from town
right.
to Avalonia, because it's better protected.
Okay.
But also because it borders them and it increases a larger
No, that's
block.
a really good.
You know what I
point.
mean? It's a
Because I know
larger,
other towns that don't have maybe the strength of wanting keeping things open, where they'll say, guess what, I'm gonna convert that to industry because I need the tax base, and all that work you guys put in over a generation is gone in like a one council.
So, and as you say that, it's funny because the parcel that we're talking about mowing, my brain goes, oh, I would love to turn that to a wildflower meadow. And I don't want to spend the next 4 years of my life turning a field to a wildflower meadow for the town to be like, never mind, it's a school now.
Yeah.
Like,
We need a
But
fire.
that's a good point, and that's the reason why that.
Yeah.
is kept, is in case-
But like Whitehall Park is never going to be anything but Whitehall Park. It's a trust and, or that's how it's supposed to be. So I can make a wildflower meadow there and put my heart into it and know that it'll still be there years from now. So,
Now, some of your links, because I use your board's links, like 2 of them are inactive, and some are good, like the reference material, I can see all the maps and everything. But you're like 3 major projects. I think 2 of the 3 are like going nowhere, you know.
What are our major?
They don't link to anything?
Yeah, I think it gets like under construction or can't get to it or some kind of error message or something.
On the website?
Yeah, like you go to town,
Yeah,
go to boards,
Mhm.
go to this board's portion of it.
right, so you. went
And
to
there's
town
3
center.
links right on the, under conservation.
Mhm.
2 of those 3, I don't think will work.
Really?
But just look at it, maybe something to do with me or something, but
Yeah, I'll look at it. Yeah.
thanks. All the rest of stuff really great.
That's been a work in progress.
'Cause I know- yeah, 'cause I found and checked like all the maps when Megan did all the maps.
All the reference stuff's working.
I'm too lazy to click all those links.
That'll be homework. huh? Everybody check.
I
it.
don't know if I should have said this and I'm still really bad at meetings. I'm new at this. In informational items or new business, but I would really like to plan another invasive plant removal event with conservation.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a date that works for them?
Whitehall?
I think Whitehall is still a great place for us to continue. The Oriental Bittersweet is starting to leaf. It's very obvious now, and you can see it like the little baby plants. It's great. You can rip them up by the roots. But the burning bush is really obvious because it's all full of leaves. But it's a great time to remove burning bush and Japanese barberry because they don't have any fruits. So there's no seeds. You don't have to like take them with you when you leave. You can just leave them as they lay and they will decompose. So, which is great. But once Japanese barberry has seeds, you have to take it with you, which makes it really hard to remove. So
The only thing that you might ask, and I don't know if it's a good time to ask or not, but I suspect if Maggie has discovered any places where somebody is nesting, you might not want to have your work party in that place.
okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
that she has, but she might.
And I don't know that she's walked in. I know Jessica Cobb called me this morning to ask me
It's a few-
when I was available because she thought I would want to go with. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go on the walk with Maggie. So we're scheduling it sometime this week or next week. So,
Because when she walked our property once, we heard a lot of birds and she said, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not nesting here. So it just might, because it's
Mhm.
May, be something to take into
Sure.
consideration. I'm not sure.
and I know last time we had talked about it, somebody had mentioned that like a 2-hour period is like really the best, just a small commitment in the morning, maybe like a 9 to 11. Get together. If you stay longer, you stay longer, but if
Especially if it gets hot and the bugs are out.
yeah, the bugs will be out. So-
Not as bad as me, but
This is just an informational piece. A speaker came to Ledyard Garden Club from Connecticut Agricultural Extension Center in New Haven. And she's an entomologist and they work with all the bugs in the state. And she said that if you get bit by a tick and you get the tick in good enough condition, you can mail it to them and they will test it for all the diseases. So right after the speaker, I had 2 ticks and I collected both ticks and whole and I mailed them. And I had a response in 5 days. That 1 tick was negative for everything they tested it for and 1 was positive. So I am just spreading the word because we're always out in the woods that it might be a good way to know And I sent the reports to my physician, and it was just a really neat way to, if they were negative, that you wouldn't have to worry about it. And if they weren't negative, at least you'd be on the lookout for signs and symptoms.
Where do you send it?
It's in New Haven.
So you just mail it, mail
There's a form online. Maybe I'll send the information to
the, yeah,
everybody.
could you
Okay.
email that? 'Cause
Yeah.
That would be really interesting. Yeah.
I just did it on a lark, but the way I got the report back, and it was Lyme disease, babiosis, and not the one the guy just died from, another one,
Yeah, there's, what's that one?
with an S.
Yeah,
Spotted fever, Rocky Mountain spotted
No,
fever.
it wasn't. But to me, it was so interesting that it seemed to me something that should be spread around to anybody who walks in the woods, works in the woods, you know.
yeah, if you could email that.
Yeah, I want to say, if you have healthcare for the subset of our military families, if you have healthcare on base and you get bit by a tick and you can pull it out, you can take it on base and they'll test it on base.
Oh.
So,
So that's a good thing. It really
Yeah.
is, because it makes a big difference, you
Yeah.
know, in your ability to know right away. So
I don't know, I have never had a tick on me. But
You
So
will.
who are you sending it to? Who would go to the CAES, Connecticut Agricultural Extension,
Yeah.
right? And it's in New Haven.
Actually, I think my last tip was when I was.
I buy
Roberta?
cases, keep woods off, like a case at a time. I'm very
Yeah.
religious about it.
Alrighty, can I get a motion for an adjournment?
I think that, did Betsy go to say something?
Yes, yeah, thank you. I was just wondering what organisms the tick was positive for, and did your doctor do any prophylaxis?
One was for Lyme disease, and the other
Okay.
one was for babiosis. And she said
Wow.
that you really need to have symptoms before they
Okay.
would say treatment was appropriate.
Yeah, okay. So the one tick had both Lyme and babiosis?
Yes, yes.
Wow. Yeah,
The
that's
other one was-
scary.
And the other one was negative for everything. I
Yeah,
can't remember
right.
the third disease.
But you got it off pretty fast. I mean, doesn't it have
Yeah,
to be?
it's less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
chances
good.
are. But, and you
Right.
know,
They have to be attached that length of time to transmit
So-
them.
to me, it was quite
Right.
revealing that such a service is out there, and I never heard of it before. You know, that you
Right.
could mail it like that with no charge. And so the first thing that she said was you can bring it to, like, for Ledyard, it would be Ledge Light.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody else told me they did that from Lead Light and it never went anywhere. So I
Okay.
just decided to bypass them and.
Yeah.
mail myself.
That's a great thing to post on social media for Ledger residents, like on the Ledger forum or something. Just so they know. Thank you.
That's a good idea.
And I like people walking.
Yeah.
If you post it in the Hike Ledger page, you can just share that post to the Ledger resource. And then everyone can see it, and then they'll see the Hike Ledger page. Right there.
I'm happy to do that if you send the information, Roberta.
I will.
Okay.
I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody, I don't know if I can say this here, but anybody wants admin on that, like, help control that hike ledger, let me know, because Megan gave me all that.
Does anybody from Parks and Rec do any of that?
No, they don't, that was, Megan really set that up and wanted that to be more on the conservation side.
Then Parks and Rec. Okay.
Right, and then she had asked me, right, when she had left, she had specifically talked to me outside and said, hey, could you please, you know, keep this going for me? So that was her baby, so I absolutely, yes, ma'am. Megan put me to work and I went to work, so. Like I said, I still don't mind doing, you know, I mean, it's my pleasure. You know, somebody would like to get that out there.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay, meeting adjourned. What time we got there?
8 o'clock?
7:40. 48, 58, yep.
So I'll just pick a day and create an event, and if you come, you come, if not.